So one of the most common problems with a EasyGo twin-cylinder Robin engine is that they smoke very prolifically, and I just want to show you one of the most common ways to fix that problem. Right here in front of me I have a EasyGo. It has the twin-cylinder Robin engine on it, and I've already begun disassembling this. I just want you to see that I removed this blower housing. I just pulled it off to the side. It's not necessary to completely take it off, just as long as it's out of the way. What we're essentially trying to do is remove this cover. So this is the cover. This is what it looks like. It bolts with 4 bolts right here. I've already removed those 4 bolts, exposing the camshaft, the overhead cam. So right here we have the rocker arm, and the rocker arm literally goes in that hole right there. So in order to remove this rocker arm, all you want to do is loosen all these little tappets. Just loosen these. You really want the motor to be at top dead center, which basically would mean all of these. You see each one of these protrusions right here on the camshaft. All these will be facing down or sideways, except maybe one. One will have some tension on it. That's really the one you're going to have to focus on as far as loosen it. What we're trying to do is get all the tension off the rocker arms so that this rocker rod right here will slide freely. If you look right here, there's a little indentation. So you want to take a screwdriver, put it right here like that, and just push on it a little bit, and it'll come out at like maybe 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 or so will protrude out of this hole. Then you just take your finger and slide it out. So anyway, we got that out of the way. I just wanted to show that. I didn't want to skip that step there. So when these engines smoke, typically what you'll notice is these right here, these little valve seals. You cannot see them very well, but they are in between the spring here. And I'm going to take one of mine out to just show you. But these little valve seals, this is a new valve seal, and I don't think the camera is going to be able to show you the difference here. But if you look really, really hard, that's the old valve seal. That's a new valve seal. You can see the inner hole is smaller. So it just creates a gap that oil can seep through. And in order to remove these right here, you got to take the valve. You got to take this valve spring off. Now this is an interference engine, which basically means that the piston will hit the valves, and that's actually a good thing in this case right here. So what you want to do is just take a screwdriver, and you want to put it down inside the piston. You want to make sure this piston's at top dead center. Now these pistons move up and down at the same time on this engine. So if this cylinder's at top dead cylinder, if this cylinder here is at top dead center, then this one is too. So just want to make sure that that they're at the very, very top. So let me turn it. You're gonna see that screwdriver rise a little bit. It'd be great to not have to hold the camera at the same time. But you can see it's going down. We're gonna go back up with it. All we want to do is just go up with it. Just go up until while it's rising, just go all the way up so that it rises as high as it can. You can see it's at the height. And that's a good thing, because if you take these little tappets off, when the piston is not at top dead center, the whole valve will drop down inside the motor. You may be able to get it back out, because I don't think it'll go all the way in there. I think it will still be in there. It's enough to where you can turn it and it'll cause the valve to rise. So, but you just want to make sure this piston's at top dead center. And like I said, if this one's at top dead center, the other one is as well. And so then it's really better to have 2 people here. But I'm trying this one-handed approach and trying to hold the camera. I mean, this is absolutely difficult to do. I will not be able to film this at the time because I don't have anybody holding the camera. But the easiest way is I took a 3/4 inch screwdriver, and I take my hand and I just press down on it. It's hard to see in the camera what I'm doing, but I have a screwdriver laying across the top of that in the air housing. It's nice to keep this air housing on there just for that reason. And I just take my hand and put pressure down on it. And it literally creates enough for me to get this off. Now you're gonna notice these are stuck. So what I do is take a socket, put it at the top. Again, I won't be able to depict this because I got to do the hammer. But what I do is just lightly tap this. It's just causes it to get unstuck. These little tappets get stuck inside the retainer. But again, the way to remove them is you just take this, lay it across the top, put your hand right here, and push down on it. And then you just use pliers and you can grab those little tappets out. I can't do it and film it at the same time, but anyway, that's all you got to do, and then it will expose this. I'm going to stop the camera and I'll show you on the next video. Okay, so I removed the valve spring. You see it is you know, you can see the seal right there. And you can move this valve back and forth. You can feel how loose it is. You feel absolutely no friction, no tension between it and the seal. And so what we're going to do is install this new seal on here. To remove the old seal, it's really simple. Just take a screwdriver, stick it right there like that, and just pry at the base. You want to keep your hand at the top, like just kind of hover your hand over the top, because this thing's going to pop off. Just pop that one off, and then you take the new one, slide it on there, and I again use a socket that will fit just the outer rim of it. You want to make sure the socket's actually a little bit on the big side, and just gently tap it back on there. That's all you got to do. It just sits on there kind of tight. But anyway, that's one of the most common reasons why these engines smoke. And I'll tell you, I'm sorry, if this engine here smokes too much, it'll cause an excess amount of oil to build up in the muffler. And as you can see, this is a really large muffler, and it can hold a lot of oil. A lot of times after you even fix this valve problem, you will notice that it's still smoking. You're like, I just now replaced the valves, it's got new rings in it, I did a full rebuild, why is it still smoking? And that's just simply because it has there's an accumulation of oil that has built up in the muffler down at the bottom. And when you run it, you'll notice something. I just want to describe this really quickly. When you first crank it, it will not be smoking, and the longer you run it, the more it'll smoke. And that's a good sign, because that means the oil is built up in the bottom of the muffler, and as it heats up, it's burning that oil out of the muffler. If you crank the engine and as soon as it begins to run, it's smoking already, that means you have a ring problem or these valve problems. These valve seals right here are the most common reason. It's very rarely the rings, but most of the time it's those valve seals that are leaking. So, and they will cause an excess amount of oil to build up in the muffler. You'll crank it, it won't be smoking. The longer you ride it, it starts smoking more and more and more. And so in that case, you want to come in here, replace these valve seals. After you replace the valve seals, you want to just run and run and run this thing. You're going to have to run it for like 2 hours sometimes, just so that it will burn all that excess oil from, however long it's been smoking, burn all that out of the muffler, and then you're good to go. So anyway, thought I'd share that. Thank you guys for watching. Hit subscribe on my video. I'll catch you on the next video. Have a great day.